Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today is a very special day. If you know me, you know that Red Velvet is one of my most beloved groups in K-pop. Group full of my biases and then my bias records, and just overall these ladies are very close to my heart. I love their story, I love their music, I love their concepts. And they just recently had a comeback, and we've got something that we've been hoping for such a long time. I've been waiting for this particular Dingo for 3 years. And today is the day. We've got Red Velvet, Killing Voice, Dingo performance. Let's go. Please don't forget to subscribe, because the video following after this one directly is going to be Wendy on the Lee Mujin service, which is another blessing. So I'm excited about that one as well. Oh, and I almost forgot, if you want more reactions, more analyses, more vocal coach content, make sure to check out my Patreon. You're going to also help to support this channel, and you're going to get so many more videos that you can watch through. And also you can vote monthly. And now let's go. Oh, look at my cuties. They look so comfy this comeback. I'm so happy about that. Joy is the true joy, per usual.
정규 37킬로 컴백했는데요. 여기가 어디죠? 킬링보이스.
Let me know what you think about Chill Kill 2. We're gonna hear it today as well. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be part of this. Irene.
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, I love her speaking voice. You just know, when you look at her, you know what you're gonna be getting. The sultry, the beautiful, the absolute mystery, the feminine.
Sometimes you gotta be bold. Disrupt the world. Booyah! La 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 la.
Oh my god, they're so cute. With Joy's singing, it's kind of funny because her voice fits her beautifully, because it's so elevated and so bright. So she has a tiny bit of an elevated larynx, and also notice how she's always pushing a lot in her cheeks. So you always have this kind of like positioning here. Right there. It brings so much brightness into her voice. It's always super sweet. I mean, it fits her voice. It fits her name. That's what I wanted to say. It fits her name beautifully, and she's always elevated with it. So a little elevated larynx and a lot of ta-na-na-na-na. So pretty.
정말 행복하지 않아. 기쁜 일이, 멋진 일이, 세계는 참 많은데라. 그런 money, 그런 power, 우리는 관심도 끊어버리지. 올라가라는.
That part of the song is actually much harder than you would probably expect, because you have just a very tiny impact on the tone. You don't want to lose control there, but it's very short. It's almost like an outburst of the energy. You still want to open your voice there at least a tiny bit, because you do not want too much tension. You don't want that. You want a little bit of a space for that tone, but it's very short time for you to actually develop it. The funny part about it is that this is part of their part of their whole discography. You're gonna hear throughout the Dingo, this entire performance, how incredibly versatile Red Velvet is. And even though they are pretty stable in their aesthetics, because they do have gorgeous aesthetics, if you are into a little bit of a mystery and stuff like that, Red Velvet is going to be perfect for you. But even if they do have an upbeat, fun, happy little song like this, it's just not another little bubble pop song. It always has a little bit of that typical, authentic Red Velvet sound. I do love it. We're just getting to a fantastic place. I already heard Wendy.
I have the shine on me, let it shine on me, yeah. 내 품에 let it shine, shine on me, let it shine on me, yeah. 내 두 팔에 let it shine.
Her voice was doubled there, which is actually a pity because she doesn't need absolutely nothing. I do consider her being with probably Taeyeon and IU, three of the best singers of the K-pop overall. Lily from NMIX is definitely slowly catching up on them from the fourth generation, but Wendy is, for me, the absolute ultimate on top, because it's also my personal preference because of her tone quality, her singing style. She incorporates a lot of R&B stuff, a lot of embellishments that I personally love. So she is my personal fave. And she's a power belter. This was so nicely belted and so nicely presented, every single tone. It was not overpowering, but it was bright, it was powerful, it was super stable. And you will always find tones like these with her. She's been, her earliest recordings there are out, are incredible already. And I think those are numerous of years pre-debut. So she is a very well-trained singer. Across this whole performance, I'm just gonna rave about Wendy. So you've got to let me. I've been looking forward to this so long.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, woo!
That was a great transition.
너 때문에 하루 종일 고민하지만 널 어떻게 해야 좋을지 잘 모르겠어 난. Baby, 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 you play, 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 play. 그 눈빛은 날 아찔하고 헷갈리게 해. 내 이성적인 감각들을 흩어지게 해. Oh, baby, 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 you crazy, 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 crazy. 나를
With Solji, I do have to admit, with Solji, I fell in love with her the most when I heard her solo pieces. 28 Reasons is probably, from the whole Red Velvet after Psycho, 28 Reasons is my favorite song, even though it's from just one of the members. I love that song. I really got the chance to really discover her artistry, her soul through her solo music. I have to say that very often I listen to solo music of a variety of people from different bands, different companies. So I'm not talking about Red Velvet. And I feel like I didn't get to know them better through their solos. It's kind of a little bit lost on me. And with her, I feel like I got to discover her. I got to get to know her as an artist, as a singer. She's a stunning singer. 28 Reasons is incredibly hard song. A lot of people want to sing it. So I teach 28 Reasons quite often on my lessons. And it's a hard song. It's a very difficult song, but it's gorgeous.
인형처럼 하나부터 열까지 다 어색하지 평소같이 하면 되는데 또 너만 보면 시작되는 바보 같은 춤 Hey! 눈코입 표정도 발다리 걸음도 내 말을 듣지 않죠 덤덤덤덤덤덤덤덤 심장의 떨림도 날 뛰는 기분도 맘대로 되질 않죠 덤덤덤덤덤덤덤
That was beautiful ad-lib right there. Dun, 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 dun. You can see the placement or hear the placement. Dun. It's very forward, right in the nose. If you try to attempt that placement, just make a little bit of an almost puppy sound. and they just try to keep it very forwarded. That's a beautiful placement. Yes, R&B queen, all those runs and riffs.
네, 다음 곡은 예리가 합리하고 첫 1위를 하게 된 곡입니다. 네. 주세요 달콤한 그런 아이스크림 케이크 특별해진 오늘에 어울리는 맛으로 입가에 묻은 아이스크림에 네 가슴 두근거.
If you look at the joy, it's actually really stunning. A lot of people, when I am working with my students, but overall when I'm explaining the openers in your face, that if you go into higher tones, open tones, you do need to have your openers. Right? It completely changes the shape of the sound and the openness of the tone. If you look at Joy, you already see how presets her whole face is for her singing. So when she's singing, you never see her not smile, not push into those little cheeks right here. She has a lot of resonance right there. Her sound is really directed there. And you never see her abandon that position. She's very consistent with that.
팝스 내 입안에 녹아내리는 중 잔뜩 넣은 내 입안이 녹아내리는 줄 Baby boy 다른 남자들은 아무것도 몰라 You so fine so 안 튀는 옷만 골라 Never get me wrong.
Oh, Irene, the woman you are. The woman you are. Oh my God. I love that we've got Yeri and Irene in one band. The complete ultimate opposites in attitude, in tone quality, in rap style after all as well. I love that Irene has a tiny bit of a huskiness in her voice. She does work a little bit with her air, so it's not bright and very sharp. Everything is a little bit underlined with air, so it's a little softer, but with a lot of attitude on top of that. So how can you not love Irene? Isn't she like completely like people are obsessed with Irene? I can see why. I can see why.
You so fine so 안 튀는 옷만 골라 Never get me wrong 마부와 햄도 관심 in the back 지방 랩파부터 스모까지 man I wanna pass 내 보는 이 시선에 say some goodbye 기분 좋은 느낌이야 너와 눈이 마주치는 순간 Give me that, 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 give me that ice cream 부드러운 아이스크림 케이크 오직 널 기다리며 촛불을 켜줄게요 따스한 맘의 아이스크림 케이크 녹아버리기 전에 내게 입 맞춰줘요 It's so tasty Come and chase me 못하겠어 Ice cream, you scream give me that, your lips
It has to be really fun to write songs for Red Velvet. I'm not entirely sure if they also write their own songs. I think they probably do, but I know that they have also a lot of adapted songs, and it has to be so much fun to write for them because you're basically not having too many limits. You've got fantastic singers in the group. You've got very charismatic rappers. You've got pretty much every field covered, so it has to be a lot of fun.
다음은 러시안 룰렛입니다
Joy is so hyper in this one. I love her. Those short tones had to be really hard to stabilize. Try to do very short, very sensitive. So not loud, not too overpowering, or do not try to yell it. Try to go very lightweight and get those really three stable, fast tones right after each other. Very hard. It can be even harder than if you can get a lot of support into them. So that's fine. The lighter you're gonna go, you're gonna realize how much harder it actually gets. Right there. love when Yeri and Irene sing. Both of them have really pretty voices, very, very, very pretty. They use kind of half air, half clean tones, so you very rarely hear them go with a too overpowering, just too piercing sound. They're also always gonna mix it a tiny little bit, so you're gonna get that really comfortable, nice rounded sound. It's not gonna be too much, but also they're not overusing the air, so it's not completely diluted in air. It's like nice mid-level where we can get a little bit like a hint of vibrato if we want, and it can be really rounded and warm. Oh my god, I think this is the first song I've ever heard from them, to be fair. And I didn't know. I heard Zimzalabim before I even knew Red Velvet, and then I actually got to discover Red Velvet, probably like the, you know, like most newer fans through Psycho. But Zimzalabim I heard before, and I was like, damn, wait, it's the same group that did Psycho? That's crazy. I could not believe that.
Are you ready for this? Yeah. Zimzalabim. I'm gonna 좋다. 지치지 마. 늘 바라봤자 꿈이 아냐. 너 꺼내 네 맘을 봐.
For the fact that Irene does use quite a lot of air, and she's not going for too overpowering phrasing, too like dun 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 dun. She still keeps quite a lot of pitch fluctuation, which I think is also something that more like women, like female rappers do, because unless they do not want to go for that kind of a power type of rap flow, you still have to apply quite a lot of pitch fluctuation to make it animated, to make it fun. And she's doing it in her own fashion with that really nice feminine flair, and it sounds great. This is great conversational style here in singing. I love the tiny little tremble there. It was not heavy enough to be vibrato, but it was gorgeous little tremble. It's just tiny little shakiness in the voice. It's usually applied, I've heard it applied by many boy groups as well, but it's very, very pretty. You do not want to go too heavy into development of the tone to get like a broad vibrato, but you just want it to have that little tiny tremble that kind of almost imitates a lot more emotion in that tone. So pretty. Oh my god. That was vibrato right there. That opener into that mix, she went from aw to aw. Right there. So beautiful. If you open it a tiny little bit more like she did, you get gorgeous, big, bright sounds. still can't believe this is the same group that sings Psycho. I can't. Extensive discography.
Excuse me, baby. 놀라지 말고 이 차에 훌쩍 달래요.
Again, a little tremble. It's beautiful for her style because it's not too heavy stylistically. So she's keeping it very bright, very light.
느낌이 왔어. 같은 걸 원해. 우리 떠나요. Hey.
You can hear the difference with Solji. Solji has a little bit more dominant placement. It's a little bit more nasal placement, but she can get such a gorgeous development into her tone in almost every position. So mix is very accessible to her.
ABC보다 쉬운 게 있어. 그건 바로 여름을 흠뻑 즐기는 거야. 하루를 한 번 비틀어 봐요. 해변을 따라 가는 거예요. 1, 2, 3, let's go. 찔러 던져. Oh, yeah, we're feeling good. 시원한 바람 느껴요. 손 위에 올려.
A lot of little Friday.
흔들어 무릎을 열어 모르는 삶도 하이하 우린 다 친구야 태양은 머리 위에서 우릴 놀렸대
I never realized this song is so difficult.
맞지 정말 색했던 우리 달라진 거지 장난치고 떠들다 보니 Hey wow 친해졌어 자 어디로든 달려가 Excuse me 어디로 가죠
No, I really have to say, I'm really actually flabbergasted right now because I never realized this song is so difficult. I mean, Red Velvet by default makes a lot of stuff sound very, very easy. That is technically and very difficult. We're going to see it on Psycho as well. The initial slide to Psycho, very hard. It's not an easy thing to do, even if it sounds so whimsical, but it's not. But this song, again, it's blowing my mind right now because they sing it beautifully, very, 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 very skillfully, but just so playfully. You wouldn't even say that this is such a technically difficult song.
차에 훌쩍 달래요 여름은 우리 좀 바꿔놨죠 와 벌써 왔어 바다야 따라해봐 ABC보다 쉬운 게 있어 그건 바로 여름을 흠뻑 즐기는 거야 나를 한번 비틀어봐요
I love the ad-lib queen. So this is my first official comeback era. This was my first ever comeback in the fandom. And it's just so incredibly close to my heart. So that line from Wendy is so difficult in every single place of it. So strong and beautiful. You have to go for the open. Strong and beautiful. You have to open that. So a lot of people I hear really clenching that. So strong and beautiful. Now, you've got to find that space for that. Listen how she's gonna open it really nicely. Also hear the front end, rainbow, rainbow. She's so freaking good. Her placements are also comfortable, always comfortable for her. Look at her sing. She has so much joy from singing. It's not stressful. It's not something that would be in any shape or form uncomfortable. Every tone she sings, she finds a really nice, comfortable place for it. So that's how it should be. Singing should be really joyful. I love that Irene's voice actually is a little bit more huskier more rounded, a little bit slightly more darker. I would even say darker because it's really not, but it's kind of functional like that in the group. And she's creating such a pretty base for the rest of the more whimsical, brighter, voices.
올해는 레드벨벳 콘서트에서 절대로 빠질 수 없는
I'm so excited for this.
여러분들도 정말 즐겼으면 좋겠습니다. 바로 You Better Know.
I love Wendy's English pronunciation, by the way. She has such a pretty English. Oh, again, a little tremble. You can hear her here. She doesn't have a dark voice whatsoever. She doesn't even have a lower said voice necessarily, but in comparison to the rest of the voices, it is definitely more rounded, a little bit more huskier, a little bit more grounded voice, and it's playing off of the other voices so prettily, nicely. Joy is so hyper. Very nice, Yeri. Good job. Nice little riff. That's supported. The huh nicely supports that opener right after that. So huh kind of clenches the air and holds it all together into nice support. Huh. So sometimes you can find a lot of stability in a very pronounced consonants like p, t, b. But at the same time, you can find a lot of beautiful stability of the consonant like huh as well, especially with that air. Beautiful. You're gonna have to scrub that smile over for me. I'm so happy. Oh, I'm so excited. Oh my god. Oh, again, I consider the biggest charm of Red Velvet and its composition, especially the composition of the singers. Solji, insanely authentic singer to herself. You can recognize her voice so fast. Like Solji, when you hear her somewhere, you're like, yeah, that's her. You know it. Wendy, an incredible power belter. Talent. Insane talent. And Joy has just such a gorgeous singing technique that is just little joy to listen to her. It's so pretty. She makes everything for it to be super aesthetic. I love their voices together as well. They're creating a beautiful wall of sound. They do not compete. It's just creating this really beautiful unisono. A little fry. You can see the difference between Yeri and Wendy here. Is when you have a really relaxed mouth, you're getting a little bit more air. And then when you went, if you have that smile, it creates a completely different sound into the tone. So when you pick up your corners up, you're gonna get a little bit of a different timbre than when you keep everything relaxed. Both of them has a very interesting and good function in your singing. You can create a lot more layers and sounds and just a different vibe into every part of the song or every different song.
좋아 첫눈에 반해버린 네가 자꾸만 생각나 내 방
Beautiful tone developments. Small start and a bigger development, but so nicely dosed. 내게 주고픈 그 스타일을 기소이쟁 코감에 상상 그 이상 기분 up and bang But you wanna dance like this 먼저보다 좋아해요 솔직히 긴장이 난 귀엽지 사랑에 빠져 그냥 우리 I like that Yeri used a little bit more fry in there. It was a little bit more playful. It got her voice a tiny bit more grounded. Again, with Irene, I really, really like the power in her voice, even though she's mixing a little bit more air in. Usually, it is very black and white. You've got rappers that go with a very clean power voice into everything. It's really overpowering and it's really, really, really sharp. But she does use a little bit of air to kind of round her voice, make it a little bit more sultry, and kind of to bring out that huskiness in it a tiny bit more. But then that usually results in a little bit more or less kind of sharp approach on the phrasing, but she's not lacking in that. She found her way to kind of dance around and combine both and have kind of best of both worlds. And that's why I really like her rap parts. So pretty. The tiny little vibrato. That power belter, you could give her any high tone, any high belt, and she's not going to be scared. She's going to be just excited to do that. Working with Wendy has to be absolutely stunning because whatever you give her, she's just going to be excited to do that because she is an absolute power belt. You can hear it here. The way she descends into that belt is so beautiful. I cannot even do it full throttle right now the way she does it because it's a little bit late in here. I would wake every single neighbor in my house, but that was so nicely done how she was descending into that belt right there. So pretty. That fry into that kind of like a half airy tone, little bit of a vibrato. So pretty. So pretty.
네, 이제 분위기를 바꿔볼까요? 네, 이제부터 벨벳입니다.
I think the relationship between Irene and Yeri is just so incredibly sweet. She's like a little, she's like mama to her, and it's just so freaking adorable. I think if anyone would just attempt to touch Yeri with like a 5-foot pole, just like Irene would just tear them apart. She's so protective over her. It's so sweet. Beautiful access into her mix. I have to say also Solji. I know that a lot of people are maybe not in the most in favor of her tone quality because it has a little bit of a nasal timbre. I love it. She is so freaking authentic and recognizable for her tone quality. So whoever is hating on her tone quality, that's just dumb. You're just dumb. Her tone quality is pretty. If something has a very dominant feature, like a nasal quality, that doesn't mean it's necessarily either bad or in any less aesthetic and pretty than other voices. I absolutely adore her voice.
설렐 때만 사랑이니까 라라라라라 내 친구 모두 소리쳐는 정말 문제야 I'm fine 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 피카 피카부 피카 피카부 흥이 나냐 우
I have to say, I have to admit, I love those songs like Peekaboo and Psycho from Red Velvet the most because I think that aesthetics kind of fits them the most, but that's just my personal preference, okay? So you've got a little bit of restriction there. It's really nice tone to actually make the restriction, or not a tone, a good word to make a restriction on. So pretty.
Hey.
Such a good song. Oh my god.
Hey. 수많은 사람 속 눈에 띈 무심한 그 표정 I like that 내 호기심을 자극하지 어색하다는 건 입은 웃음 신경 쓴 듯 한순간 관심 없는 말투 I like that 외면을 봐도 끌려
I love the attitude of Bad Boy. That's why even if it's not one of the creepier songs, I really love Bad Boy. It's actually a song that I got introduced to by one of my students, and she sings it as well. And it's really cool. It's a really gorgeous song, but it's very playful. It's very badass. And you've got this completely different attitude in their voice. If you notice, they're getting a lot more fried. Dun, 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 dun. So a lot of half on a half with a clean tone and airy, and a lot of fry, and even the brighter voices like Wendy and Joy. We're getting in a much more muted version before we go into the chorus. It's a little bit of head mix. A little. Such a high placement, really difficult. But she's doing it really, really effortlessly. She's got also a good amount of air mixed in, so it's not too overpowering. Maybe I've done it a little bit cleaner here than she did. So that is a really nice approach for that because we're not going full in it yet. Beautiful harmony. See, with Soldier's voice, it has to be a joy to make a harmony with her. Not joy, But it has to be fun to put voices in harmony with Solji's voice, because you can really nicely recognize the other voice. They're not blending together because of her tone quality. Every time I hear this, I cannot help myself. I hear the freaking meme. I hear the meme every single time where she did that slide and then started to laugh. So the slide is very, very difficult. It's very, very high, and you have to work very smart with your air. So you have to rely on your support over there. She has a little bit of a width in that tone, so that right there is gonna be your friend to actually get there and get a stable tone. So it's a really hard slide. When I heard it for the first time, I was like, that's cool. Tried it myself, and I was like, wait, there's quite a lot of trickery coming into the play with this one slide. It's a tiny slide, but it's also really like iconic. So I really like that she's going with a very clean tone there. So across the song, it's so high sometimes that you have to work smart with their air and a little bit of air diffusion, yada yada. But here, notice how she is here, how she's trying to go with a very clean tone so she can create a really nice contrast on top of that wall of the sound. Because the girls are singing the chorus, they're singing the unisono, and she has to cut through that sound. That's why it's a Solji singing. She has such a distinctive voice that she can push through even that wall of the sound that other girls are producing there. Beautiful. For me, again, my personal preference, from the technical point of view, as a vocal coach, it's a really difficult song. It's more difficult than it sounds. It has a lot of empty spaces. It is built for their voices. So, for example, if you want to pull this as a solo singer, you've got a lot of challenges in front of you. You've got a lot of passages that are just built for that one singer because they knew that she can pull it. That one can pull it, that one can pull it. There's a variety. There's also quite a lot of range into this song, a very difficult range. The rap is so hard. When I was covering Psycho, I attempted to learn the rap. No, it's so perfectly phrased. There's so much attitude in it, and to phrase it perfectly with that attitude, so hard, so hard. So Psycho, very difficult song, but for me, just from my personal perspective, it might be my most favorite song from the entirety of K-pop. So if somebody would ask me probably my favorite K-pop song, it would be Psycho. And even like completely divided from the fact that I do like Red Velvet, even if I if it would be one song that I would like from them and I wouldn't know anything else about them, it still would probably be my favorite song. That's how perfectly it's composed. The production on that song is just, it's so pretty.
이 노래는 저희 레드벨벳이 정말 좋아하는 노래 중에 한 곡입니다.
We've got a little bit of a lyrical goodness.
시간보다 더 오래 이별하는 중인걸 은하수 너머에 아득히 먼 곳에 하얀 우리의 기억을 건너는 날.
Listen how they both beautifully open the tone. The micro dynamics in every single tone that they sing is gorgeous. It is so, so, so important. Listen to the difference. Da, 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 dee, da, da, and ha, da, da. Dynamics is gonna make a world of the difference, and both Solji and Wendy are really, really good at controlling their dynamics.
꿈속이라도 괜찮으니까 우리 다시 만나. 우리 다시 만나.
This is one of the few moments where I saw actually Joy abandon her really smiley technique. Even as she let go of it to kind of create a little bit more sultry sound.
How do you like this to be? It's natural and automatic for you.
Yeah. She sounds like Siri.
한량없던 왜 내 맘을 감싸 안아 채우고 있어. 전엔 몰랐던 It just comes automatic. 아주 작은 몫에 감각들이 움직여. It just comes so natural. It just comes automatic. 매일 기다리던 환상에 어느새 내 심장은 숨쉬고 있어. 내게 잠시 흐트러진 소리가 너를 다 사랑이란 진실을 모두 말하게 됐어.
This is actually right down Wendy's alley. She does use a lot of embellishments that are from R&B, the runs, the riffs. She knows how to go into a very powerful belt, but at the same time, you can get a really soft, sultry sound like this with a lot of so pretty. I'm so happy that these type of songs are also part of their discography. Again, if you take Zimzalabim, Automatic, and then Sidecar, you're like, is it even possible that this is one band? Because that's kind of crazy, and it is. That was really pretty harmony, creative. The harmony here was so pretty. You can see the difference when they want to create a wall of sound, so that kind of like powerful unisono girl chant, which they can do, and when they want to create this really rounded, sweet, very fuzzy sound, very warm. It's pretty low. This is very low. This is almost on her own range, kind of lower side, very on edge. You can hear the last tone barely touched right there. So really, really, their songs overall, Red Velvet songs, very difficult on range. It's not only going high, but very often with the pretty low parts covered as well. Sometimes to the point where it's reaching down to their lower side of their range. Very, very on edge. So
속에 펼쳐진 길을 거니는 듯해 단 한 번도 날 어루만져 준 적 없는 감정인걸 촉촉한 말들로 몰래 내 맘을 적시고 또 살며시 흘러간 소지
I like Yeri's little vibrato. I wish we got her singing a little bit more. I think she's kind of like 50-50 usually. We've got a rap, we've got some singing lines. I do like her singing style. I think, I don't know, is there any solo from Yeri? Let me know. I have to recheck most of their solos. I never got really too much time to check anyone else's solo out of Solji and Wendy. Those are the two solos that I had time to really go through, and I was there when they came out, you know, so I need to check out more. Let me know if you recommend or what you recommend from the solo stuff from each of the member. That would be nice. Down in the comments. I loved the Joy's ad-lib, I have to say. That was quite a nice run. I really appreciate it there. It was super, super sweet. I also like the little restriction. They're almost frying a tiny bit on those upper tones. Just giving it a lot of attitude. Really nice fronted mix. She's using that placement quite a lot there across the performance. This is like their little R&B anthem. Solji is like a queen of very long, intricate runs. We saw that in 28 Reasons. Long, difficult, complicated runs.
I got you got me. I love you till kingdom come.
I like their little catchphrases.
네, 이 노래는 눈 감으면 사라질까 단일초도 아쉬워 난 이대로 있어줘.
Listen, the first 5 tones we're getting Wendy belting right there. It is such a gorgeous start to the song. You can see, look at her belty face. Exposed front teeth, a little bit of a nose scrunch, perfect belty face right there. But it's so brilliant. With vibrato right into that tone, so she can make it sound really spacious and almost like shimmery. Right. Beautiful harmony all across this part. Really, really sweet. It's hitting the sweet pace, especially because it's in the really nice places of their range when it's not too high, but it is just in the place where their voices just sound beautiful and shimmery, and they have this gorgeous sweet tone quality into them. So very nice. And on top of that harmony, we're getting these little tiny ad-libs that Red Velvet is so very well known for the for their ad-libs. They are really creative very often, like, in that Psycho one, but all across, if you listen to this performance one more time, their ad-libs are not just like random like yeah or whoa, nothing like that. We don't get just the generic random ad-lib. They're always very creative. They are always creating tiny little bit of a mosaic into the sound, into the final sound. I love it about Red Velvet, honestly. Ooh, that was a gorgeous riff there. So pretty.
레드벨벳이 수록곡 맛집으로 유명하게 해준 노래입니다. 바로
Still in my head.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Look at how she's trying the beginning of that phrase, so she gets it a little bit more grounded. So if it wouldn't be, if there wouldn't be a fry there, it would be oh boy, oh boy. Now if we put a fry there, oh boy, oh boy. You hear how much more drive it gets.
Oh boy, oh boy.
That was really nice, kind of head voice mixed into that head mix.
Oh boy, 가까이 살며시. Oh boy, 달콤한 목소리. Oh boy, 잠든 날 깨워준 너.
I love her vibrato, so pretty.
오직 널 담으려가면 눈을 뜨고 나조차 정말 몰랐던 널 발견한 거야. 꿈을 그려왔어 순간을 찾아와.
Wendy is very vibrato happy. Whenever she starts belting, her vibrato is very, very fast to follow. I'm a very early vibrato type of person as well. I think it's just people who are just born belters and they do like to belt, the vibrato just creeps in. It's so enjoyable to do it in the nice, developed, supported tone, and you get the vibrato in, and it's just one gorgeous, resonating belt. She likes to do that. I like to do that as well, so I'm just on the same line with her. Same vibe. You can see we're back into the place. Oh boy. You also have to go into instead of oh boy. That's too narrow. You can hear it. So oh boy, boy. You have to open. You have to go into the width of that tone as well. Right there.
저 사람 누구야? 누구? 아까부터 계속 쳐다보는데 예림아.
이따 말해준대.
누구야? 아까 날 보고 웃던 걸. 비밀은 없잖아 우리 사이 best friend. 나도 그러잖아.
Very often we've got a lot of conversational style utilized in Red Velvet's songs and Red Velvet's performances. So almost like here you had a soldier. So you're kind of transferring from the singing line right into almost a tiny bit of a voice acting into the speech line. And I think it's really, really nice little flavor added to the songs and to the performances on their own. And quite a lot of their singing style could be also derived from conversational style pretty heavily because their placements are very healthy and it can be very often derived especially from the typical placement for your speech, which is quite often a technique that people do. The little side there was cute. Again, Joy's little tremble, more of a tremble than a vibrato. Just tiny little bit.
네 맘을 말해봐 여기선 곤란해 이미 in the ladies room 터뜨리자 샴페인 비가 내리게 We like to party 오늘 이 밤이 우리 함께라도 재밌어 How would you? 같이 가는 거야 할 얘기가 너무 많아 We like to party 우리의 밤이 Ladies, ladies
So you're going through all the registers there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So you're going through your chest starting in there, you mix a little bit, and then you should transition really nicely into that head voice. And it's really cool to do that in unisono.
Can I get your number? 싫어.
You could. She absolutely 100% could.
우리 이제 포카브를 알려드릴까요?
Oh my god. I've done the entire video on a deep dive into this comeback that they had last year. If you are still interested in that, go check it out. I did it on Feel My Rhythm, but on just the entirety of the album. That's how much in love I was with this piece. Oh my god, I was obsessed. Again, if you fry, you've got a little bit more ground. So it would be very lightweight. Fry. Big difference.
Red velvet.
무도회를 뒤집어 작은 소란을 또 일으켜 This is gonna be a crazy night 등장부터 인사
Soldier's placement comes through in this song so beautifully because she has a beautiful access to very high tones thanks to her placement. Yes, it does make her voice a tiny bit more nasally than it would normally be, but the excess and just the easiness that she can move across her registers is really worth it.
끝까지 파격적이게 우리 살짝 놀아볼까 솔직하게 baby 지금부터 시작해볼게 Feel my vibes 꽃가루를 날려
So much head voice. They have to be like living in their head voice most of the time. It's so clean, and the movement there, which usually people have a lot of issues with, is very fluent there.
폭주들도 크게 터뜨려 우리로만 가 편견을 가두지 마 자유로워 지금 Feel my rhythm come with me 상상해봐 뭐든지 노래를 따라서 저 달빛에 춤을 춰 바로 지금 Follow follow my heartbeat 해가 떠올 때까지 Feel my rhythm 멈추지 말아줘 이 순간을 놓지 마 baby
Again, very high in their mix most of the time. They're mixing a little bit more air in because this is not supposed to be overpowering or too sharp. It's supposed to be really lyrical. It's a beautiful remix of a beautiful classical piece. So they have to really complement the music with their voices instead of competing with it. And that's why I loved Feel My Rhythm so much, because it sometimes is really, really hard to make a really good, not remix, but like almost a remake of a classical piece, because you need to complement it. You cannot try to go into a big contrast with it or just, you know, compete in the final vibe of the song. Like it has to come together and feel very authentic and feel connected. And they did such a beautiful job with Feel My Rhythm there. I really loved that this comeback. Again, made a whole video about it.
저희 신곡 Chill Kill
Chill Kill. If you haven't checked the Chill Kill, the comeback was, I think, now 2 days ago. When the video is going to come out, it's going to be 3 days ago. Go check it out. Support, stream it on the platforms. Make sure to check out the official music video. Support Red Velvet. They are absolutely incredible. So go and check it out.
어디서 왔니 호련해 고요했던 세상의 crash
주길에 등장맞이 그 자리 탐에 미쳤어 달콤해진 우리
So beautiful that you've got every single person capable of a very solid singing. It has to be really, really difficult overall. You would kind of expect it's going to be really difficult to have a person like Wendy in a group. And then, of course, you've got Solji and Joy, two other like fantastic singers. But Irene and Yeti are generally really standing their ground. When they sing, it's really solid. They have pretty tone qualities. Right here, actually, Irene showed quite a lot of really solid technique there because it was a soft development. She couldn't belt that part. She had to stay really stable. Ta-na, ta-na, ta-na. And she had to work very nicely with her air as well. So she had to be really smart about it. She done it really, really well.
불안전해 참이 뭐가 겁났겠어 Always and forever 너무 쉬운 넌 내 거라 맘대로 껴안고 멋대로 보냈어 다시 네가 보고 싶어 죽도록 후회하잖아
Don't care if hot 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 내게 어울리는 perfect soul 다시 널 붙잡을 수 있을까
Don't think about tomorrow 넌 여전히 반짝여 변할 거야 이제서야 눈물이 흘러 얼음을 녹여 What a chill kill I know you will Bring me lightning like a winner 여기서 날
If you're gonna sing this song as a soloist, this is gonna be hard. This is gonna be very, very hard, especially this part. Like a winner, like a winner. You're gonna have to make sure that the power that you're gonna be using there is gonna be enough because you cannot go cleanly just with a head voice. Like a winner. That would be just too lightweight, too airy, too lightweight. You have to way down like a winner with a tiny little bit, maybe a little fry, maybe more of a head mix. It's gonna be such a hard song to cover as a soloist. Again, beautifully built for Red Velvet. Reminds me of a bad boy quite a lot.
Happy ending으로 What a chill kill 긴밤 등대를 켜 네가 길을 지어
I'm here
혹독한 밤이라
Her voice sounded beautiful there. That was so gorgeous.
온 세상을 숨죽여
A little slide. So pretty.
Together
자꾸 멀리 멀리 도망치며 미워한다고 외쳐 그 말의 끝에 망설였잖아 눈을 맞춰줬잖아
We do not get Joy as a rapper too often, so I'm happy to hear that. The attitude was there.
봐봐만이 달라졌지 내가 제법 변했지
한번더 안을 수 있을까
Don't think about tomorrow 넌 여전히 반짝여
변할 거야 이제서야 눈물이 흘러 얼음을 녹여 What a chill kill
Again, those little tiny sounds. Ooh! And all of them, the little sound plays that they know how to create, especially Red Velvet here. Oh, I love them. It's creating such an authentic sounds to their songs and so much fun. It's so creative.
You will bring me lightning like a winner 여기서 날 기다려 Happy ending으로 What a chill kill Say now are you ready You ready? Say now are you ready 너 때문에 울지 않아 너 때문에
Again, those short cut tone. So not a running. So hard to achieve. You have to know exactly what you're going for. It is in her mix. it can be really hard. Unless you want to go with the full air. Sa, sa, sa. And she's not going with a full air. She still has a tiny bit of a layer of a clean tone. So the cleaner you would like to go with it. And the cleaner and more sensitive, so smaller, cleaner tones, the harder it's gonna be. But they're gonna sound the best.
웃을 수밖에 없던 거야.
Gorgeous open bright bass. So freaking pretty. Gorgeous belt from Solji there. Let me just replay it because I don't want to stop it every 5 seconds because it was really pretty part. Beautiful. Nice mixed belt from Joy too. Hell yeah. My girls. 33 minutes of full singing, full performance. This is hard. This is so hard. We've got 33 minutes. This is everything that I hoped for, wished for. I am so happy that Red Velvet is what it is, that they are in a group, that they are, their personalities, their attitude. I have such a soft spot for Red Velvet. I'm so happy right now. And don't forget, if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to subscribe right here. Here is gonna be some of my Red Velvet videos. It's probably gonna be Wendy, which I'm gonna do next time. And here is the rest of my Korean reactions. Please stay safe and healthy. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.